All right, before I start, does anyone not think that the Flash, the other Barry Allen here, not Grant Guston but the one in the trailer, because he's wearing lot of yellow, does anyone not think that this is Professor Zoom, the reverse Flash? Because you can't have the sort of Flashpoint Barry Allen origin story without Professor Zoom. This has got to be the reverse Flash. We're being misled, like what is it, Mysterio in the second Spider-Man movie, where he was tricking Spider-Man. Indeed, it is a grim time. It is. Valentine's Day is not a happy moment for most of us. Now, this is children of the Great Depression. Being truly forced and alone, whether you are as peaceful as me or a YouTuber or somebody who's a private citizen, or you're outraged like that Korean kid in the Virginia Tech shooting that happened in 2007. I hope you're not at that point. I really hope not. But let's just say you're not. And you figure this is a holiday that you're pressured to be romantic. Um, I'm just not. Now, in this book here, all these children are probably dead because they worked during the 1930s before Eleanor Roosevelt enacted the child labor laws so that children would not work in have a job like that. They would have to be like 16 years old or older to work. And it got me thinking about compassion for human beings. When we work, my first job was actually working at the swap meets. Um, I think I might have to pause for a garbage truck here. But it's just the fact that I spent my time working in a swap meet, which is now part of a school. I think it's APU, Azusa Pacific. And that was my first job as a child, working with my parents while I was going to high school. Getting up in the morning at 3 in the morning, going there by 6, working till like 2 o'clock. Well, actually, getting there by 5, setting up by 6, and getting out by 2 in the afternoon under the hot sun. And I told you all the stories from Lorraine to Letitia and then Biani, like all the girl, Genevieve too, like all the girls I knew from first grade, second grade, third grade, going over to the sixth, seventh grade, then on to first year of college or two, junior college. I've not been in a relationship. And by the way, the youngest I've ever been with is 18, unless I was stupid and didn't check the ID, which happens to all of us. Okay. And I think that last girl I talked to, I was 18. I was about 30 something. So, you know, we never find women our age. If we do find women our age, um, they're pretty much like married, fat, hair short. They got 4 or 5 kids. They've been through 2 or 3 husbands. Maybe all the kids are not from the same father. That's the joke. We rarely find someone our age who is just waiting for us. It just almost never happens. If I date someone, it's likely they're in their late 20s or early 30s. Now I'm at 45. Okay. So you gotta think about it. It is slightly creepy, but then it's like, do you really think we can find someone? Look at Billy Joel. He's married to someone 30 years his junior. What can you say? What can anyone do? I think William Shatner went back with his ex-wife, and she's much younger, I think. He's in his 90s. But obviously, law is law. Don't meet strange girls online. You never know if they aren't eligible for their driver's license yet. Be careful of that shit. Run the other way. But aside from that, in all seriousness, I've never dated someone or been with someone longer than 3 months. The last person I was with for 3 months, that was 2003. I lost my virginity to her. Michelle was someone I met 20 years ago. Um, can't show you the pictures. I do have pictures of me and her, but obviously she's not really online. So, and I just don't want to really get into all that personally. But just the fact that I was with her for 3 months. I was with a girl named Casey for about 3 months. She has an online presence. And I don't really get into that. She left me, or she was trying to leave me for her male cousin that she was banging around with. I'm like, okay, well, and she never told me about it. I had to find out through like Facebook paper trails or digital paper trails. So I never had a long commitment. Here I am talking about children of the Great Depression. And now these sweethearts that you see here, I'm going to give those out to different females that I meet. There's some pretty girls out that work at the postal office where I get my mail. So the post office box. That's where I see pretty girls. So just in case you're wondering, yes, there are pretty girls working at a place, but it's very awkward to go and pick up on females at my post office because most of the time they're just working. You can't really get to know them at the counter. Counter girls are just lousy to get to know. It's just how it is. Not my rule, it's just a rule that you learn. You learn this rule. But these sweethearts are for the ladies at my post office, and then one of them is for Carl's Jr. There's a cute manager over there. Now, these are not super expensive box of chocolates. These are not diamond rings or jewelry or anything fancy like that. These are just very simple 60-cent boxes because I kind of learned if a girl was doing this for me, she would get me one of these things. Like, oh, here's this thing here. Even if she bought it for someone else and then ended up giving it to me. Okay, well, that's how it is. So what this has to do with this is that I'm kind of over the romantic looking for a girlfriend portion of my life. That doesn't mean that I don't stop looking, but I just don't care anymore. Maybe it's because I hit 45. I just don't give a shit. I could give a shit less. And so these are just to say, hey, how's it going? If something comes out of it, if one of the girls at the counter at my post office or at Carl's Jr. says, hey, I've been thinking about this a lot. Let's hook up. Let's do whatever. If something comes out of it, great. I'll be happy. If nothing comes out of it, then nothing comes out of it. There's someone I've been talking to. I got her like a little, not a very expensive orange juice squeezer, like a very small one. It was like maybe $10, but because I knew her longer. These girls I don't know for very long, but they're very polite. And so that's it. I'm not doing very much for anyone. My mom and I barely speak. I don't talk to my sisters. I don't talk to anybody. Okay, I really don't. Um, you want me to say foreign women are better than American women? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna turn off the video now. No, I ain't doing that. It's not that I don't believe that foreign women can't be better, but they're not gonna say me love you long time, get on their back and spread their legs for you. It doesn't work that way. Any woman can be difficult, but American women are generally more entitled. Do you know what I'm saying? They're generally more entitled. That's just the difference. American women just have that flaky attitude that I don't find sexy at all. It's like, if you want a man, stop acting entitled, stop acting woke or anything, whatever girls do these days, and just understand what guys are trying to do. Whenever girls complain about boys, it's like Oprah brings out the tissue boxes. Everybody wants to hear this. But boys can't complain about girls without sounding like Harvey Weinstein Jr. Not every guy is a rapist or a potential rapist when he complains about females. Sorry, it's just how it is. After Me Too and after the hypocrisy of the leader of Me Too and all this stuff, I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. If somebody attractive comes along, then they come along. If it's camaraderie, they have their own husband and kids, that's fine. Like, for example, Linda Park has a family. I'm just happy she has like the same, I guess Misery Loves Company. She has the same kind of disabilities as I do. I kind of consider lupus to be the female version of hemophilia because a woman cannot really have severe hemophilia. Men usually have hemophilia, but women have like lupus. And it's possible for Linda Park or her son to acquire hemophilia type A. So it's not impossible. It's likely if she doesn't take care of herself. They have to rip out innards and stuff. So, like, I show compassion now. That's what Valentine's Day is to me. It's a fucking holiday once a year. It's showing compassion for other people. and that's fine. I don't mind showing compassion. I don't mind showing the community. That's all this is. Um, when the children of the Great Depression went to work and went to work like any adult, it was about compassion for the fellow boy and girl. It was about, this was like, if Lord of the Flies is about the dark side of a child's society, this is the light side. Even though there were hardships, those kids who would be, um, God, let's say they were 7 or 8, they'd be almost 110 years old today. I mean, we'd either notice either they're here or they're not here, but most likely they're not here because cigarettes, alcoholism, um, not exercising, just old age caught up to them. But it's just love for fellow people. I guess, obviously, I'm going to show my compassion more towards females because it is Valentine's Day. And Charlie Brown couldn't get a Valentine's. All those girls showed up at the end, Lucy and Sally and Peppermint Patty. And it was a nice ending for Charlie Brown because poor Charlie Brown I mean, if anybody was suffering in that cartoon, it was Linus because he was falling for the teacher. And, you know, I mean, I've crossed dangerous territory like that Virginia Tech kid, following girls around, and girls hated it. And did it get creepy? Yeah, it did. And that's why at 20 something, at 30 something, I had to make a hard choice. Stop following the famous person, stop following the popular girl, and just wait till somebody cares. But you know, I also look at how bad my parents' marriages were. My cousins, my sisters, and I did not want to get married. I was terrified of getting married after seeing how bad my family fell apart. My parents were married for years, but they were miserable. They didn't weren't intimate anymore. My uncle died of a heart attack, but my aunt, he physically abused her and cheated on her, possibly. Well, maybe he did. He's dead now. What's he gonna say? My cousin, the last thing I heard of a divorce, one of my oldest cousin, she divorced her husband somewhere last decade, and the son uh, lived in Connecticut. Now I think that was 2018 when I saw them last. That kid is now an adult, and he might still be in Connecticut, but it's just a broken family. Women get married because look at me, I can get married, I can have my fairy tale. Go fuck yourself, I'm getting married. This is just all like I want the fairy tale shit. But do you know who pays for it? As Cholo Trucker once said, the kid pays for it. The kid pays for your bullshit. So because I led a life of horrible, I'm just like the Virginia Tech kid, right? The Virginia Tech kid was born into horrible parents, horrible family setting. That kid never had a chance. Is that what you want? Do you want to get with somebody that doesn't want to be with you, or she wants to be with you to prove some sort of point? Then you two are miserable, and you shit out a kid, and that kid ends up shooting people 20 years later in a terrorist attack. I mean, I know it's like I don't most of you guys don't think of it like that, but I do. That's scary. So no, I don't think I want that. And nobody else should want that. So tomorrow I just say whoever you talk to, if you want to this is what you do, okay? You go to the supermarket, you get one of these. These are like 60 cents. You can put a name on it if you know the person's name. Or if not, just don't even do that. Just act like you kind of care, but you're not obsessive care, okay? Because if she smells that on you, she just walks away from you, okay? Just act nonchalant about it. Here's this. Happy Valentine's Day. Gotta go. She'll know this is a cheap box. She'll know, like, oh, you kind of thought about it, and you know, it's like that's just how it is. I don't. Some girls get annoyed by my like, bitch. And there are some cunty women out there. I'm just saying this to the girls who hate me. I haven't talked to females in years. I haven't gone on a date in years. Okay, the last time I even touched a woman was probably 11 years ago. I haven't talked to a woman since. I haven't seen. The only girls I would see are at work. I haven't gone on a date since 2017. I haven't done any blind dating since 2017. I'm just done. I have no children. I have no ex-wives, nothing. You just go what you just get one of these. You find some girls you like. Maybe get 3 or 4 of these. You find some girls you like and just give it to them. Okay. To me, it's about showing compassion. Um, it's a great depression. It's a great depression for us because we don't know what to do. But I'm just that way now. It's like whoever I show compassion to is who matters to me. There was a movie that came out one time. It was called Goldfish. It's a Japanese movie. It's about this guy who had wine, women, and song. He had dated many women. He went all over the world. He met so many people, ambassadors, presidents. He was just an author and he met all these people. And then he just hid in his house, kind of like I do. And a reporter, she went to go and interview. Was like, where are they now? And she would interview him a couple of times. The third time she interviewed him, he tortured her. He basically had her make a letter to His Excellency. I don't know if it was the Pope or an ambassador, and she would have to take a goldfish and make a print of a goldfish on this parchment, on this paper, rice paper. I think it's a Japanese custom, but it's an old custom in which you have to skin the fish and then make the print of the scales on the paper. So she had to kill a goldfish, and it was just horrible for her. And then she never came back, or somebody else came in her place, and he wondered where she was. And he found out from the news office where she worked that she was diagnosed with cancer, a stage cancer, and she had to go to a facility. And that's when he just got up out of his bed. He got up out of his chair. He got up out of his house and he went to go see her. And he would see her he went to see her, and she said to him that, she apologized for not going to see him anymore, but she had more important matters. And they say that it could be life threatening, but she's going to stay at this treatment center until she gets the help she needs. So he made it a point to go see her every week. There was no romance, there was no sex, there was no kissing, nothing like that. It's just that he showed the same compassion for her, because I think it's implied that he had lung cancer from smoking and that he had stopped smoking because he didn't want the cancer to get worse. So he made it a point to go and see her every week. He changed his attitude slightly. He was still the same asshole, but he was he changed his attitude a bit for her. And at the end of the movie, he's on this boat going back to his to the other part of the island in Japan, and he says, "Tobacco suite." Like, I want a cigarette. That's what you yell out the things you want. It's a Japanese custom. So that to me is what Valentine's Day is. If romance ever comes out of it, it'll come out of it. But it's just showing compassion for fellow human beings. And I've been rambling on this long. This was something to me. I hope it was something to you. Happy Valentine's Day, whoever you are.